Hello all, welcome to the session on speed control of an induction motor. There are different speed control methods. They are pole changing method, stator voltage control method, supply frequency control method, rotor resistance method. So let us discuss one by one. So first one, pole changing method. As we know that synchronous speed can be given by ns will be equals to 120 f by p, where ns is the synchronous speed, f is the frequency, p be the number of poles. So we can say that the synchronous speed is inversely proportional to the number of poles. That is, if you increase the number of poles, then synchronous speed will decrease. Similarly, if you decrease the number of poles, then the synchronous speed as well as the rotor speed increases. In case of squirrel cage motor, the number of poles in the rotor is same as that of the stator. An arrangement is required only for changing the number of poles in the stator. So in case of squirrel cage motor, the number of poles in the rotor will be same as that of the stator winding. An arrangement is required only for changing the number of poles in the stator. But in case of wound rotor motor, the number of poles in the stator and rotor will be different. Therefore, an arrangement is required to change the number of poles in the rotor also. So, in case of pole changing method, mainly what we are doing is we are dividing the number of coils in the stator. So the stator poles will be having the two separate stator winding, and these two will be wound for two different pole numbers with the different types of connections, maybe series or parallel connection. We can change the number of poles in the squirrel cage induction motor, and hence the speed can be controlled. And in case of wound rotor motor, so we are not using the pole changing technique to change the or to control the speed of the motor, because it will be complicated. So next method is stator voltage control method. So the speed of the induction motor can be varied by varying the voltage applied to the stator winding. And in case of induction motor, torque developed will be directly proportional to the square of the stator voltage. So when the supply voltage reduces, torque will also reduces. And this type of control will be used in the applications where the torque demand reduces with the reduction in the voltage. So this is the one of the speed control method. So that comes under stator voltage control method. So that is AC voltage controllers. So in the diagram A, so single phase induction motor will be used. For that, single phase AC supply is given, and there is a triac controller. So in order to control the speed of the induction motor, we are using the triac. By varying the firing angle of the triac, you can control the output voltage from the triac that is given to the induction motor. So by varying the voltage, you can control the speed of the induction motor. And in the figure B, so there will be a three-phase induction motor, and the speed of this induction motor will be controlled by using the anti-parallel thyristors. So we are giving the three-phase AC supply to the three phases of the induction motor through the anti-parallel thyristor. By controlling the firing angle of the thyristor, you can control the output voltage from the thyristor that is fed to the induction motor. And the AC voltage controllers will be used, or this method will be used in the applications like fans, pumps and crane drives. So next method is supply frequency control method. As already I have told, ns will be equals to 120 f by p. So by controlling the supply frequency, you can control the synchronous speed of the motor. We know that the induced voltage will be directly proportional to the frequency and also the flux. By varying the frequency or maybe flux, then the induced voltage and hence the speed can be controlled. So if the frequency is reduced, then the flux is increases and flux gets saturated, because the frequency and the flux are inversely proportional. If you reduce the frequency, flux increases and the flux gets saturated. So usually the induction motors will be designed to operate the knee point of the magnetization characteristics. So with the increase in the flux, the magnetizing current of the motor increases and the losses will increases, so that will decreases the efficiency. Similarly, if the frequency is increases, if the frequency is increased, then flux decreases, reduces the maximum torque capability of the machine. So in order to avoid that, we are controlling the voltage and frequency. So that is called as V bar F control, or voltage by frequency control method. As we know that the maximum torque will be equals to K times V by F whole square divided by Rs divided by F plus or minus into Rs by F whole square plus 4 pi square into Ls plus Lr dash whole square whole to the power half. So when the frequency is not low or when the frequency is high, so Rs by F will become negligible compared to 2 pi into Ls plus Lr dash. So with V bar F ratio, the motor develops a constant maximum torque except at the lower speeds or lower frequencies. So for low frequencies, when Rs by F is not negligible compared to 2 pi into Ls plus Lr dash. So the maximum torque will have the lower value in motoring and braking operation. So at the lower frequencies, V bar F ratio is increased. So that is shown in the characteristics. You can see V bar F plot of voltage versus the frequency. So below the base frequency, the ratio V bar F ratio is increased. So then above the base frequency, V bar F ratio is maintained constant, though that is in order to get the constant maximum torque. Figure B is the speed torque characteristics. You can see that up to the base frequency, the maximum torque developed by the motor will be constant, and above the base frequency, the torque developed by the motor will reduces, both in motoring as well as in the braking mode. Next one is rotor resistance starting. So the rotor is connected to the diode bridge rectifier, then it is connected to the resistor and transistor. Three-phase AC supply is given to the stator, then the rotor is connected to the diode bridge. So it will convert from AC to DC. And by controlling the transistor, you can control the resistance R. So when the transistor is on, turned on, the resistance between the terminals A and B will be 0. So when the transistor is off, the resistance between the terminals A and B will be high. So by controlling the transistor, you can control the resistance. And by controlling the duty ratio, so you can control the resistance, and hence the speed can also be controlled.